and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọbụla na ya ka ike niile nọ n'ọbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee eziokwu mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe ndị kwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you are joining from. If you are joining from Biafra land, I say may Chukwu okike abịama continue to guide and protect you. If you're joining from any part of Africa, I say thank you so much for joining. If you're joining from Asia, you're joining from Europe, you're joining from America, Australia, Canada, whichever place you're joining from, I say may Chukwu okike abịama continue to guide and protect you and secure you. Thank you very much for joining and connecting to the program. As you have joined the broadcast, please kindly share the program, share it in your platform, share it in your WhatsApp group, share it any place you belong. Wherever you belong, please share the video so that people can join us and we'll continue to preach the gospel and send out the message, the right message to the people so that they can hear. We will continue. We cannot stop. It doesn't matter how they try to suppress us, to press us down. They try to hide our video, hijack our video, report the videos. We will continue to send out the information and say it the way it is. Setting the record straight. That is what I'm doing, and I will continue to do so. My main focus, mainly all the time, you know, is the Janjaweed. They are the major problem. The Fulani Caliphate are the one who is subjugating us. They are the one who are enslaving us. The Fulani Caliphate are the major problems with the British. They are the ones making sure that we remain slaves. They are the one who are creating chaos everywhere. They are creating problem amongst us and within us and making sure that we do not have unity among us. I will continue to expose them and continue to say things that is going to waken everybody up to let us know where we are headed and where we are going. We cannot stop. And the conventional media in Nigeria that we all know that is in the hand of the Janjaweed, we cannot allow their story to fly. Whatever lies that the Janjaweeds are telling against the Biafran people, against our Supreme Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, against those who are fighting for their freedom, we will continue to debunk all those lies and set the record straight. That is what I do on this channel, and I will continue to do so until Biafra comes. And even after Biafra has come, I will continue to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. I stand with our Supreme Maxi Nnamdi Kanu and I follow the truth. Just as Maxi Nnamdi Kanu said, follow the truth. It doesn't matter where the truth leads you to, follow it and pursue it with all your strength and your heart. It is only when you know the truth that you'll be set free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That is why I'm pursuing this truth. And I want you also to pursue the truth, follow the truth. If you're a Biafran and you're still not ready to follow the truth, you still claim you don't know what is the truth, I'm sorry, you are deceiving yourself, because the truth is as clear as crystal. You can't hide it. The truth is like the light shining in Biafra issue, in the struggle. It is shining brighter than ever. It is much more brighter than it had ever been. If you don't know where to follow, you are still doubting. You are still sitting on the fence. You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem, and you are not ready for the freedom. For those who are ready for their freedom, they are already standing on the right path, and they are pursuing the right cause and following that which is right. And freedom must come. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. Freedom must come. Today, we are going to discuss about the court case of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu and the new dimension. That is what we're going to be discussing today. The court case and the new dimension. The long-awaited court case have come and gone, as you all know. Most of us already know what is going to be the outcome, that they will continue to adjourn and adjourn and adjourn. And you know, it was the suit that our legal team filed to quash the accusation against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. That was what the hearing that was done. It wasn't the argument about the case. It's still on the legitimacy of the court to be able to hear the case or be able to sit on the case. That is what is actually still on board. It was discussed on the court that was held yesterday. I wasn't able to come online because of several things that I was doing, other things I will have to handle. That was why I couldn't come online. But today we have to look at that very court case and say our opinion. You equally can have your own opinion. You can put it down in the comment section. What do you think about the court yesterday? Were you able to see anything in the court yesterday? A lot of things happened. A lot of revelations came on that court yesterday. And as I have always said, each time I come on my video, each time I'm broadcasting, when I'm expecting the court of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, when I'm praying, I pray that every court that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu appears, there will be a victory and there will be a revelation. Each court that he appears, there is always a victory and always a revelation. And yesterday on was not an exception. Yesterday, court of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, there is victory and there was a revelation. There was a mind-blowing revelation. Most of you must have paid attention. Many did not pay attention on what was happening. So many of you have seen the videos that are flying here, together, flying in all corners. Some of us watch those videos, but we don't pay attention on what is happening on those videos. So many of us watch the video. When we watch, we don't pay attention to see what is happening. Some of us are being carried away by the picture of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu in the video. Some of us are being carried away, seeing Maxi Nnamdi Kanu alone. The joy of seeing him healthy, seeing him still alive, makes us carried away and will not be able to study critically what is happening in the court and what is going on. Even when information are being sent out. When Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is sending information to us, we will not get it. When information is being exposed on those videos, we will not get it. But if you are one of those who is paying very good attention on the court, you can see that in the last court of our student Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, a lot happened. A lot happened. Number one, we are still going on the right direction. That is going on the right direction. We are going in the right direction. A lot of things we have said, a lot of things we have done, and you can see the legal team are working. They are doing what they are supposed to do. They are playing their own role. But you, the ordinary people, I have always said that we must have to continue in whatever we are doing to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, because nobody will do that except you and I. Nobody will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. It is you and myself that will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. And that thing that I have been saying all the time has been repeated by one of our partners in Ambazonia. The leader of Ambazonia people, Cho Ayaba, he said it in his broadcast, which I'm going to play here so that you will hear, that the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is not going to come in a platter of gold. We have to do something. We have to do something. And the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is the freedom of Biafra, is the coming of Biafra. These two things are interwoven. You cannot deny one. Both of them are interwoven. That is why when you are fighting for the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, do not take it as if you're fighting for Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. You're actually fighting for yourself. You are fighting for yourself and making sure that you get your freedom. And that is the only way we can secure freedom. Don't look back. Each time you're fighting for the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, fight with it with all your strength, with all your might. Don't look back. There are so many revelations that are made. So many of you must have watched that video. That video of what transpired in the court. Many people have seen the video, but I'm going to like to play the video once again. I would like to play the video so that we can equally look at the video together and watch it together. When we watch the video, maybe you can be able to get some other information from that video. A lot of things happened in the court, but people were not paying attention. People were not paying attention. Maybe after watching it with me here, you can be able to pay more attention, then get more information than you've gotten in the past. So many things happen in the court, which we do not pay attention to. But maybe when we watch it together, we can be able to get more information and it will be much more clearer to us than it was when we were watching it on our own. So on that court day, so many things happened. As I said, Maxi Nnamdi Kanu was in the court. We saw him and we are all happy to see him appear in court. We are all happy to see him appear in court. He appeared. Then, but you can see that he's still wearing the same clothes he's wearing. You can see he's still wearing the same clothes. It wasn't a good sight, actually. In terms of wearing his clothes, we are expecting that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to be wearing that same clothes or appearing in that same clothes for now. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to change that clothes. That clothes is supposed to be changed. So, but the DSS have refused Maxi Nnamdi Kanu from changing that clothes. He's still wearing the clothes, still putting the same clothes that he wore since he has been detained. And it is not a good thing. It's not something to be proud of. We are all worried. Every Biafran person is concerned about that very appearance of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why we are saying, when they are talking about their political solution, we don't believe them, because we know that these people do not obey their own law. They don't obey their own law. They don't. They don't obey their law. Every time you see them shouting and talking on top of their voice, at the end of the day, they don't obey their own law, the law they put in place. That is why the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the Biafran people. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It doesn't matter how you hate people who are saying it or what. That is why we are calling for civil disobedience. And we will continue to call for that civil disobedience. We will continue to call for it, because that is the only way to go. That is the only way to secure freedom. Civil disobedience, nothing else. Nothing else. There is no two ways about it. It's either we get our freedom through civil disobedience, or nothing will happen. That is the absolute truth, the bitter truth. Some people might be pretending about it not to say it, but that is the only way for us to get our freedom. So let us watch briefly that very short clip that was played by BBC. Then observe carefully what you're going to see. Observe the movement you are seeing in the court, every movement and every person you see in that very place. Observe. If you have not been observant, you will be observant today, and listen to what you're going to hear, because they have a voice. Listen to what you're going to hear. And maybe after listening, you go to the comment section and tell me what you discover from the clip.
No, it's not correct.
Even if there are lawyers, it doesn't matter. It is the judge that will ask you. I remember last time when I wanted to rent more than twice. He said no. So even if we have to come to you, why do you not for the judges to say you can announce it? It's my prerogative as the lead counsel to announce my thing. Nobody can do that for me. So that nobody shall do that. Exactly. Nobody.
So, why can't I want him to come in?
No, take this thing easy. Nobody is stopping anybody. Even me, they have been stopping me and for more than 5 minutes. It's not. This senior lawyer was brought to the bar together with me on the same day. It's not the don't know how it. You have to complain to what you are doing. Somebody wants to have it and refuse to call it. They called me. I said, what me? I will point it out to the court. Point it out to the court. Oh, my brother. Let the judge know.
Yeah, I've seen many of you must have watched this video. You must have watched it, but some of us didn't pay attention. You must have paid attention. If you paid attention, you must have learned one or two things from this very video. What have transpired in the court. You see, I used to say it and I used to pray that anytime that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu comes to court, let there be a new revelation. As we are praying for the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, we also pray for revelations for Maxi Nnamdi Kanu and pray for revelation for those of us who are outside, for us to know what to do or how to go about things. Because Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in the camp of the enemy. And as long as he's in the camp of the enemy and he doesn't talk to us directly, we can only hear from him through our commitments and paying attention on things that are happening around him, and also through our prayers. Only Chukwu Okike Abiama can reveal to us what is actually going on. I myself, personally, when I look at that video, you look at it closely, you will see there's a lot of misunderstanding in that court that day. A lot of misunderstanding. There are so many misunderstandings on that very court that very day. And the misunderstanding, which the one that was open, that was spoken out about, was created by the younger brother of Asuna Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. You saw the lead counsel, son, Mike Ozekome. For the lead counsel, Mike Ozekome, to raise his voice to speak, for him to raise his voice to speak against our brother of Asuna Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. In the presence of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu while he was there. And he saw Maxi Nnamdi Kanu that when Ozekome was speaking, out of anger, Maxi Nnamdi Kanu left the area and went and began to talk to a little child. Such kind of sin is not supposed to sin in a critical issue, in a critical case like this one. In a case like the case of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, the legal counsel is not supposed to be bothered. Nobody is supposed to be confronting them or making any kind of distraction on them. But you can see the distraction that was happening in the court. Distraction, a total distraction from the court. It is uncalled for. I don't know what the problem was. I don't know why that kind of an issue should arise. But something that made our senior advocate, the chief legal counsel, Mike Ozekome, to speak out in a loud voice, that will be a serious issue. That must be a serious issue. And if you listen to him, he complained about disturbance to him and Mike Ejiofor. Disturbance to him, to Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Mike Ozekome. The lead counsel complained about that. Why must they have disturbance from people who they are protecting? The disturbance is not from the Janjaweed. The disturbance is not from the Janjaweed, not from the enemy, not from the camp of them, but from their own camp. Why must the brother of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu be a disturbance to them? Why? Ask yourself why. Whatever it is, Chukwu Okike Abiama is in control. And I just hope it's not what I'm thinking. I just hope it's not what I'm thinking. And when the video uploaded, you saw where the brother of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu went to give a handshake to the prosecutor. Somebody who is prosecuting your brother, preparing to send your brother to the gallows. What kind of handshake will you have with such a person? What handshake will you have for such a person? And both of them had phone on their ears making a call. There are so many explanations that have to be made. There are so many explanations that have to be made in one transpired in the court yesterday. You see, this is the reason why some people are crying and shouting on, and there are people are standing up. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, as he stands today, Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is bigger than his family. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is not just a family member to anybody. He's not just a husband or a father to anybody. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is a brother to every Biafran, a father to every Biafran, and a defender of every Biafran. Every Biafran, about 70 million people have the interest of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu at their heart. And Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is representing 70 million people or more. More than 70 million people. He's not just representing a person. He's not just representing himself or representing his family. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is representing 70 million people. So anybody that is coming closer to him or doing anything, it doesn't matter if you're his blood brother or whatever you are, you must have to be very, very careful. You must have to tread with care. The way you handle him, the way you treat him, the way you talk to him, you must have to be very careful. And I pray that what happened in the court yesterday will not repeat itself. I pray it doesn't repeat itself, because Chukwu Okike Abiama is watching. Biafran people are watching. We will continue. And Maxi Nnamdi Kanu must definitely be free. As I've always said, it is the masses that will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. And every now and again, with the things that are playing out, you will see that the people that are going to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is you and I. Only you and I can free him. You saw in the last court, Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, simply to change his clothes, have become a problem to the Janjaweed. They can't even allow him to change his clothes. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is still wearing the same clothes for more than 7 months. He's still wearing the same clothes. And some people think it's okay. It is not okay and can never be okay. And in that very court, you saw that finally they were saying the reason why they don't want Maxi Nnamdi to change the clothes. Clothes have been taken to Maxi Nnamdi Kanu several times, and the DSS refused Maxi Nnamdi Kanu from taking those clothes. For what reason? The only reason they gave was that the clothes that was brought to Maxi Nnamdi Kanu was Isiago dress. When has Isiago dress become an SBT in Nigeria? When has Isiago dress become a weapon? Isiago that is sold in the market, people are wearing. Our traditional wear. Today, you can see that the Janjaweed are making our traditional wear something that is out of bounds. The same way they are fighting people who are holding Biafra flag, the same way they are coming against people who are calling on Biafra, the same thing they are doing to our clothes. Today, our traditional wear has now become something that is out of bounds. They don't want Maxi Nnamdi Kanu to wear Isiago. But you see the Janjaweed wearing their own traditional clothes. You see why you will have to get out from this. These people do not want us. They don't want Biafra. They don't want Biafrans. They don't want to see us with their eyes. They are trying everything possible to take away our identity. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu did not ask for a armored car. He did not ask for a weapon. Only his traditional dress, allow him to wear his traditional dress. It has become something that is out of bounds. It has become something that is out of bounds. Even the court cannot support him to wear his traditional wear. Isiago, that you know, is a traditional dress for every Biafran person, mainly the Igbos. His own traditional wear to represent his tradition, to represent his identity. That was why they refused him from changing his clothes. He must not wear any clothes that identifies with Biafra. When has a clothes that you wear, Isiago dress, when has Isiago dress become an SB? Maybe some of you might think that it's something that is being made up, or maybe some of you think it's unbelievable that they can't say that. I'm going to play the video for you, play the clip for you so that you can hear from their conventional media why they didn't want Maxi Nnamdi Kanu to change his clothes. You will see the reason they gave so that you know what we are up against. That the people that we are fighting against do not want us alive. They don't want to see us alive. Let me search for the video. Give me some little minutes. Let me catch up with the video.
The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, makes an appearance in court wearing the same Fendi outfit. Well, this is contrary to the order made by Justice Binta Nyako that he be allowed to change the outfit before his next appearance in court. Justice Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja, is presently hearing the application of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, challenging the propriety of his trial, as well as the competence of the charge against him. Now, Justice Binta Nyako had adjourned the hearing to February the 16th after Mr. Kanu pleaded not guilty to the amended 15-count charges brought against him by the federal government, in which he was charged with terrorism-related offences. The prosecution counsel, Shoaibu Labaran, informed the court that the defense counsel had filed and served him with 2 applications, which he had responded accordingly. He adds that the first application is seeking an order quashing the 15-count amended charge leveled against Mr. Kanu, and the other one seeking his bail. A counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Mr. Michael Zekome, however, complained bitterly that the DSS has vehemently refused to allow Mr. Kanu a change of clothes, contrary to a definite order of the court that he must be allowed to wear a new outfit. Mr. Zekome further adds that thrice Kanu's younger brother has been refused access to the DSS facility where Mr. Kanu is being detained. Well, the lead counsel lamented that since Mr. Kanu was arrested and detained, his eyeglass was seized by the DSS and has since not been returned to him. He asked that his glasses be returned to him so he doesn't go blind. However, Justice Nyako said the complaint has been noted and directed Michael Zekome to proceed with the business of the day. At this juncture, Mr. Zekome said he has an application which basically seeks the quashing, striking out and dismissing of the 15-count amended charge against Nnamdi Kanu for being incompetent and denying the court of jurisdiction to entertain the 15-count amended charge. For the application, with 34 grounds and supported by a 36-paragraph affidavit, Mr. Michael Zekome said also said that he seeks for an order acquitting and discharging Nnamdi Kanu for want of jurisdiction and effective, baseless, and incompetent charges. Now, the matter has been adjourned to April the 8th to rule on Kanu's applications to quash the charge. Meanwhile, the DSS has said the clothes brought by Nnamdi Kanu's family had a lion heart drawn on it and that it offends their operating procedures. When asked by the judge the type of clothes he prefers to wear, Nnamdi Kanu said, quote, "I want to wear the clothes of my people, Isiagu," but the court refused his request.
You see, the only reason why they don't want Maxi Nnamdi Kanu to change the clothes because Maxi Nnamdi Kanu requested for his traditional wear. He wants to wear Isiagu to represent where he comes from. He wants to wear a cloth that displays his identity. That's the only crime Maxi Nnamdi Kanu committed. And even the judge refused him from wearing Isiagu. You see what these people are doing to us. When has the traditional dress of the Igbo people become a crime in the country of Nigeria? They have outlawed the traditional dress of the Igbos. The traditional dress, Isiagu, that we all know that is being sold in the market. Today, Isiagu has now become an SBT. Isiagu has now become an SBT. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu did not ask for weapon. He did not ask for Mamoka. He didn't ask for any dangerous thing. A traditional dress that represents whom he is. A traditional dress to represent his own people, to show that he is a true Biafran. They refuse him. And that is why he will continue to wear one single cloth. You see why we must get out of this contract called Nigeria. Because it will not do anybody any good. They do not mean us well. All the contraption called Nigeria wants is to make sure that they destroy every Biafran. They make sure that we don't have identity. They have come with their weapon to take our identity. We refuse. They came with their herdsmen to kill us and take away identity. We refuse. They came to steal our land. They want to take away our identity by force. They have removed the bite of Biafra from their mouth. Everything that has to do with identity, they want to take it away. You see why you have to wake up. If you're a Biafran, you must have to wake up. The war we are fighting is not a small war. Even in their court, they are using their court to intimidate us. That Maxi Nnamdi Kanu cannot wear Isiago. This is the only reason they are giving why they are refusing Maxi Nnamdi Kanu to change his clothes. What a war. What an injustice. A country of injustice. An unjust nation. Unjust nation. The injustice against the Biafran people, mainly the Igbo Biafrans, is unimaginable. Unimaginable. You cannot allow somebody to wear his traditional dress. Every psychological attack they are making on Maxi Nnamdi Kanu can never work. It can't work. It can't work. All those psychological attacks they're making on Maxi Nnamdi Kanu cannot work. It doesn't matter whether Maxi Nnamdi Kanu wear Isiago, you like him wear Isiago or not. We know that he is the leader of the Biafran people. He is the leader of Biafran people, and we see him as a leader. He is a lion. Even he refusing to wear that lion head in his body. He is a lion. We all know that, and you yourself know that. You that is refusing him to wear that Isiago know that he is a lion, and you can't stop him. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent of all charges. Very innocent of those charges. They don't have any charge against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. All they have is delay, and propaganda. That is what they have against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. And I want to share with you what the prosecutor has to say. Labaran or whatever they call him. Listen to what he has to say. Let's watch what he has to say.
His request.
Counter affidavits stating that they came on the wrong side of the law, and we take steps to bring to the attention of the court the relevant provisions of the law that suggest that this charge is well-founded and it is filed appropriately and filed at the right place in accordance with the extant rule and the law that guides the procedure of this honorable court. And we hope and believe this is one offense that is captured in the open space. It's proving all the counts in this charge requires no any effort. It is one charge that within the twinkle of an eye, if the trial is allowed to continue, it will be concluded within record time. And we are optimistic that this honorable court will do justice. And like I always say, this is just one of the several antics employed to delay criminal trial in Nigeria. But for this, we're ever ready to actually showcase that our criminal justice system is effectively working well. Time shall tell.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You have heard from the criminal. You have heard from the person who is defending the criminal country called Nigeria, the British company. You have heard him. These people will never take responsibility. He is now shifting the blame on our defense counsel. He is now shifting the blame on them that they are the one delaying the case, when it's obvious that the delay is coming from them. He's saying that if the case is allowed to move, that they will finish the case in a record time. Of course, if they allow the case to go on, it will be finished in a record time. That is absolute truth. But who is delaying the case? It is this idiot who came here to blame our legal counsel. This idiot who came here to accuse our legal counsel, he is the one delaying the case. Amending of charges, amending of charges. Last charges they amended the charges some few hours before the court. They came to amend charges. Frivolous charges that have no hold no water. Even in the defense they are placing in this very one they play, there's no defense on the court. The only thing this idiot has is that delay tactics. And instead of him now taking responsibility, he's now blaming our legal counsel for the delay. when he knows very well that he and his government are the ones creating the delay. He knows very well that if the court is allowed to hold and the case continue to go for, that it will end in a record time. It will end in a twinkle of an eye because they have no case against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. All the charges are dead on arrival. Just as Michael Zekome said, our son, our lead counsel, that the cases and charges are dead as dodo. And that is the absolute truth. There is no life in the case. Every single case you see against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu has no life, has no breathing space. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is very innocent, and they know it. The only thing that this Janjaweed have against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is the delay tactics. That is what they have. And this is why every Biafran must wake up. Every Biafran must wake up and join the new dimension. Increase your effort in massive civil disobedience, massive civil disobedience. Sit at home much more. Sit at home Sunday, Monday, any other day you can choose. Economic sanction in the country of Nigeria against the Janjaweed. Let the country become so hot for them. Starting from Biafra land, every part of Biafra land becomes so hot for these politicians that they will not have a landing space. It will be so hot that questions will begin to come, phone calls will begin to come from abroad and ask them what is happening. That is what we are supposed to do. And that is what we're going to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. No law court, no law court, no law court, no law court will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. Even the lawyers don't have absolute power to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. The judge don't have absolute power to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. It is the masses. What the Biafran people are doing is what is going to free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, set him free in a record time. What the Biafrans are doing and what they are saying is what is going to set Maxi Nnamdi Kanu free in a record time. That is the absolute truth. We are dealing with people who do not obey law and order. They don't obey their own law. They don't obey their own law. The law they put in place, they don't obey it. And let me see if I can find the record of our legal counsel, what he had to say.
Will be appearing in the Nigerian court on the 16th of February. What do you?
This content is content of young people.
Speak for you, are elected by you, are accountable to you. Are you?
Sorry, I cannot find that video. Maybe in the next clip, I'm going to play the video. So, but when you see from what that man is saying, there is nothing, they don't have anything against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. There is no case against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. He's very innocent. Every charge they are presenting against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, they are dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. We must have to wake up. We must have to wake up. The freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the Biafran, not in the hand of any person. And we must have to wake up now and not tomorrow. And each time we are saying this, some people think it's a joke. When we are saying that the freedom of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the Biafran people, some people don't understand it. People who are fighting the same cause we are fighting, they have said it. People are saying it. People who have passed through the same route have passed, they have said it, and they are practicing and saying it, that the only way to free our leader is the masses, is the action of the masses. The action of the masses. The action of the masses. This is the only thing that will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. It is not your propaganda. It is not your lie. It is not your fight against your brother. It is what we are doing. It is our legitimate fight against the enemy. What we are doing to show that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is relevant in Biafra land, that is what will free Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only thing that will set Maxi Nnamdi Kanu free. And if you have not started, wake up and join. When we say it, people don't understand. I'm going to play for you a video. You see, it is much more painful because even the leadership of IPOB, those who are supposed to be leading the people, seem not to get it right. And they are not willing to listen. They are not willing to learn. They don't read. They don't learn. They don't learn from experience. You know, our Ambazonia brothers who are fighting with us, we are together with our Ambazonian people. Our Sister Maxi Nnamdi Kanu cemented our relationship with the Ambazonian people, and the Ambazonian leader is standing on the same platform with Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, fighting the same cause. We have been crying and saying that it is mass action that will work, that we do not believe on this very political solution, and nobody should pursue political solution. Nobody should believe them. If they want to go, let them continue to go on it on their own. We that are the masses, we the Biafran people, the masses, pursuing Biafra, we have to continue on our mass civil disobedience. Everything that we're doing as the masses, we want to do it. We say it time and time again. But those who are supposed to know pretend not to know. Those who are supposed to be pushing the message are not pushing it. They are pushing that. Today, we have been vindicated. Our brother in the Amazonia, the leader of the Amazonia people, Cho Ayaba, have come on Radio Biafra to educate them on what to do. He came to Radio Biafra platform to educate them. That same thing we have been shouting and been saying on different platforms that they refuse to do. Our brother in Amazonia have come to repeat the same thing, the way forward. But because of their ignorance, because of their pride, arrogance, they decide to dump that thing that is working. Up to today, they're not ready to pick up. I would like to play the video for you once again. The speech of our brother in Amazonia, who Maxi Nnamdi Kanu confided in very much, who is supporting the struggle for Biafra, who is in unity with us. We have a bilateral relationship and we are fighting the same cause, and we are from the same source, looking for the same thing, facing the same enemy. I want to play for you what the man said, the advice he gave, and what he gave, the answer he gave on Radio Biafra. And it is shocking that after he made that very revelation, they didn't share the video. It was some of us who caught up the video that were catching the video and begin to spread it. Because he spoke the truth. He spoke the truth to them directly. He spoke the truth that they are denying. It was brought to them face to face. I would like you to hear the voice of our brother in Amazonia for you to understand the right path to go. For those of you who claim to be confused, Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, even before now, have answered all the questions. He laid down all the strategies for you. But some of us have deviated. Instead of following the strategy, we are going on different direction. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu have always said the time with that number, he has nothing to do with politicians. Political solution doesn't work. He tried it, it never worked, and he never want to go to it anymore. But today, the people who left power out of their greed, out of their selfishness, out of their stupidity, they are still going back to that thing that doesn't work. Let us listen to our brother in Amazonia, what he has to say.
Will be appearing in the Nigerian court on the 16th of February. What do you have to say about it?
Why do you believe in the Nigerian court? Why do you believe in the court of the oppressor? Why do you believe that the arsonist must become the firefighter? Why do Biafrans sit and hope on the court of their oppressor? It baffles me. You people should think of rescue Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. The people who committed genocide on him, the people who kidnapped him from Kenya and renditioned him, the people who a couple of years ago attacked his house and murdered too many people. You expecting justice from them? Or is it the kind of justice he had a few years behind and it was taken away back from him just last year? Biafrans, you people haven't started. Nigeria takes the lead of 70 million people and you sit back and hope on the institution created by the same oppressor? Sit up. I don't count on the courts.
Thank you, and I assure you that Biafrans are doing something about it. And the second to the last question is this. Are you doing anything to ensure the release of Sisiku Julius Ayuk-Tabe, President of Amazonia, with other activists in jail in Cameroon? Though he was renditioned also from Nigeria, of which after there was a kangaroo court pronunciation in Nigeria that reversed his rendition, which is laughable. So the question is, what are you doing to ensure his release, Mr. Sisiku Ayuk?
The only way Sisiku will be released is when I free Amazonia. That is why on a daily basis I am mobilizing our people to make sure that we attack the enemy wherever they show their head. We bomb their armor cars in our land. We make sure that we impose economic pressure on them. We delegitimize them. The only way Mandela was free was not because of the benevolence of the occupier or his jailers. It was because the South African people stood firm. The Umkhonto was his way. Impose a higher cost on the jailing of Mandela. All African countries came together and imposed economic pressure Siseko will be free. I have been fighting for him on a daily basis. I don't believe in the courts of the occupier. I have said he will not only be free, but he will trade places with those who have jailed him. There will be accountability. It's the same thing I prescribe for Biafra. We Ambazonians, under my leadership, are fighting on a daily basis. We are making baby steps, and I know that sooner or later, not only Siseko, but the thousands of other Ambazonians who are being held captive by a brutal occupier will not only set them free, but make sure they are compensated for illegal detention and torture.
Thank you very much. I want you to, in your parting shot, talk to Ambazonians and Biafrans, and also later on you use your language. I don't want to call it local language, your language, to talk to also the people, please, in your parting shot. Please go on.
What was your first question? Let me get clarity.
You just talk to Ambazonians in your parting shot. Talk to Ambazonians and Biafrans. And after everything, after speaking to both of them in English, you can use your own language. I don't want to call it local language. Your language,
It's
your
not
natural
local.
language. To also address the people. Go on, please.
All hail Biafra, all hail Biafra. My Biafran people, you are free. What you have to do is to defend that freedom. It will not be given to you on a platter of gold. Those who committed genocide in your land will not get up one day, take responsibility for the crimes they committed, and set you free. You must realize that you are at a crossroad. The decisions you make today will determine the future of your country, whether you are free or remain in servitude for the rest of your lives. And the next generation, 2 generations from now, Biafrans will rise up and ask you, what did you do at an opportune moment when your leader was kidnapped? Did you wait for justice from an Abuja High Court? Did you wait for justice from an Abuja High Court? Or you took a stand and said, we will not allow the leader of 70 million people to be kidnapped and being humiliated every day with handcuffs. And we relied on lawyers to use the same legal system that has been unjust on you since your existence. Our fight for freedom.
You have said it. I got to stop it there. You have seen everything that man is saying there. Chu Ayaba, the leader of the Ambazonia people, who are fighting for the same thing we are fighting for. Everything he has said there is what our brother Simon Ekpa is advocating for. Every single thing he has said is what Simon Ekpa is advocating for. But because of selfish interests of some people, because of hatred that people have, because of pride, people have refused to implement that. Our brother Simon Ekpa mentioned it. He said that until we make the Janjaweed know that it is much more expensive, much more costly to hold Maxi Nnamdi Kanu in captivity than to leave him outside. Until we make Maxi Nnamdi Kanu detention very costly, that they will not release Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. It is the same thing that this man in Ambazonia have repeated. Economic sanction, he mentioned it. That we must not trust on the politicians or the political, whatever they are talking about. You have seen it. Every single thing our brother Simon Ekpa have been saying, those are what this man have repeated. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? The way to go. He went further. Some of them will say, give an example of Mandela and whatever. South Africa do not get their freedom in a platter of gold. It wasn't because Mandela was silent. The pressure must be high. You must maintain the tempo. I say it always on my broadcast. When anybody is telling you to calm down, don't do it that way, don't get people angry. Anybody that is telling you to calm down is an enemy. Is an enemy of the people who doesn't want us to get our freedom. Anything we are doing, we must to keep that tempo high. Intensify it. You don't have to calm down, not even for a second. Not even for a second. If you're fighting, you fight more. Anything you are doing, you are supposed to increase the force. Increase it to the highest level. That is the only way we can get our freedom. And freedom and Nnamdi Kanu at the same time. Why must anybody believe that the court of the Janjaweed, will free Nnamdi? Just like I say it always on my broadcast. These people took a risk to go to Kenya and kidnap Nnamdi Kanu against international law. They went to Kenya. They know that it's a crime. It is a crime. It is a crime, international crime, to kidnap somebody. They damn all the consequences. They went to Kenya, kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu for Kenya. They damn all the consequences and sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. With his British passport, they know the consequence of their crime. And yet they did it. Then you think that those people who committed that crime, a crime that they know the international crime, who committed, they think that they will just come and begin to and leave the person like that without you doing anything. You think they will just leave Nnamdi Kanu? You have seen that Britain is in support of the action. If not, they are the one that planned it. That is why they're not speaking. You cannot wait for Britain to free Nnamdi Kanu or any international committee to free Nnamdi Kanu. The Janjaweed cannot free Nnamdi Kanu. The only people that will set Nnamdi Kanu free is the masses, the ordinary people, you and I. The action we are taking, the action I'm taking, what we are doing is what will free Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only thing that will give Nnamdi Kanu freedom. You can pretend about it. You can hate it. You can refuse it because of the people who are saying it. Simply because you don't like the people who are saying it. You don't like the person that is introducing the system. You don't like the person who is pushing forward the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. Because of that, you prefer to die. Just like one of them have said. Could you imagine that somebody who is fighting for his freedom and the freedom of his own unborn children is saying that instead of him to get that freedom through a particular person, that he prefer being a slave for the rest of his life? These are the kind of people some people go and listen to. Somebody will come on a broadcast and say that instead of a freedom, instead of the freedom of him, his freedom and the freedom of his unborn children to come through the activity of a certain person, that he prefer to be a slave for the rest of his life. That is how stupid and how wicked some people are. That is how senseless some people are. And still, you see people on that platform listening to those idiots. You can see our brother in Amazonia, the leader of the Amazonian people, Cho Ayaba, Dr. Cho Ayaba. Every single thing he has said is what Maxi Nnamdi Kanu have said, is pursuing. And everything he said is what Simon Ekpa is pursuing and pressing on for. Every single thing Simon Ekpa is saying is what that man has just spoken about. Even when the person who is handling the program on Radio Biafra try to talk down at the man by asking him, after all, what are you doing in your own people to release your own people? You saw the answer he gave him. Instead of taking the correction, he began to ask him, what are you doing to free your own people? Just to make sure he understands the man. But the man gave him the word that he's fighting every now and again to free Amazonia, that the freedom of the Amazonia is the freedom of that man. That as soon as Amazonia is free, the man will be free. That is why he's fighting on different fronts, doing everything possible to bring everything down. And that is what he's advocating for Biafrans to do. This is the same thing Biafran we have been preaching up, that Biafrans should stand up and defend themselves. We should stop hoping on political solution. Political solutions have never played any role in Biafra struggle. Instead, political solution took the life of 5 million people plus, and still taking the life of people up to today. Some political solutions send Maxi Nnamdi Kanu exile. It is still this political solution that is holding Maxi Nnamdi Kanu in the court today. And somebody is still believing, all of a sudden, still believing on that political solution that you have seen, that have done everything that is wrong. It is so sad. But thank you, that today, more Biafrans are waking up, and we are in the new dimension. The new dimension. What is the new dimension? In the last broadcast, the last two broadcasts of Simon Ekpa, you had it right, that orders will no longer be taken from the DSS. Anybody bringing any order, said Maxi Nnamdi Kanu said, it will not be obeyed any longer. As long as that order is coming from DSS, it will not be obeyed. The people outside will continue to run their affairs. Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to minister to us, and we will continue to work according to our own mind until Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is released. It is only when Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is released from the hand of the DSS, when Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in a fire break, when he's outside, then Maxi Nnamdi Kanu will take charge and will begin to take order from him. This is the right step, the right direction. Go and watch the video that I posted on my page. I posted the video of what Simon Ekpa said when I was in his channel when we were talking. He said it open and clear that no order will be obeyed again from the DSS. Any order coming from the DSS will not be obeyed, because when the right order we are coming, they were not obeying it, and the orders that we are bringing there were the one that we are neutralized. Lies, the things we are bringing, we are all lies. There was no truth in it. The first information that was brought, which was the truthful one, they neutralized it and made sure that it didn't take place. How can anybody begin to trust them and believe what they're saying? And in the right step, the right direction, in that very broadcast, if you watch it very well, when I was speaking with Simon Ekpa, his channel, he said it that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu will not be held responsible for anything that happens outside today. We will no longer take order from him. So if they want to frame Maxi Nnamdi Kanu up with things that are happening, it has been made clear. Let it be known to everybody that anything that happened outside today in the contraption called Nigeria, nobody should hold Maxi Nnamdi Kanu responsible, because he's not in charge. He's not in charge. Nobody should hold him responsible. So anybody bringing any news or any message from there should keep it to him or herself. Keep it to yourself. Today, the autopilot have been fully activated. Chukwu Okike Abiama have taken charge, completely in charge. If you don't understand, maybe as time goes on, you begin to understand. Some of you went and begin to share videos, begin to say that someone ever said that no order will be taken from Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. Someone ever said that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is not in charge. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu remains the only leader we know. The Biafran leader that every one of us know is Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. He is the leader of the struggle. But as long as the Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is in the camp of the enemy, we are going to fight on our own by all means possible to release him. The release of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is what matters to us now more than anything. And it is we that are outside that are going to work and make sure that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is being released. How can you begin to tell me that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu told you, when you have come to tell us, lawyers have come out to tell us that the place where Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is bugged. The room that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is bugged. They cannot have any private discussion with Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. So how can somebody tell me that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu can sit in a meeting with him or her and begin to run the affairs of an organization that the Janjaweed would want to destroy? That same organization that Janjaweed want to destroy, you will be in their camp and you'll be discussing on how to run that very organization to continue to function, and they'll be watching you. It is only a senseless person that will believe such. That is why you have to, when Mazi Simon Ekpa said that we will not obey any distraction that is coming from the DSS dungeon anymore, it is not a disregard of the person of Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. It is not a disobedience to Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, but it is doing the necessary thing, doing the needful. Doing the needful, that is the right thing to do. It is the duty of those of us who say our freedom to fight in all fronts to make sure that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is freed. It is not to listen to gossip. Every distraction that they have using, you have seen the distraction. You have seen even in the court of Maxi Nnamdi, the recent court, you see the distraction. You see the kind of distraction that's going there. Is that the situation where you wait and begin to believe on what they're going to bring from you from that place and tell you that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu said? As long as we cannot get first-hand information from Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, every information they're bringing is false. It will not be obeyed. It will not be believed. It will not be taken. Those who are outside will continue to run the affairs and make sure that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is being released unconditionally. And as soon as Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is released, he will take charge of everything. We are going to clear and make sure Maxi Nnamdi Kanu have a clear and landing space. How can anybody begin to believe that in Donjo, where the lawyer have told us that the place where they kept Maxi Nnamdi Kanu where they used to go and discuss Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is bugged. There is no way they can discuss anything private with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They can't. And you know that the main objective of this, the reason why they arrest Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of IPOB, trying to actualize Biafra, trying to restore Biafra. And now you think that the lawyer can begin to discuss about the organization that will restore Biafra in DSS, and they'll be watching him. You think that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be so clueless to begin to discuss affair of the IPOB in the presence of the DSS? You think he will do that? It's only a clown or a clueless person that will believe that. That is why every false information that is coming from the DSS, every lie they are bringing, every distraction that is coming from DSS as the order of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will no longer be believed, will no longer be taken. When I had the information, I was so glad they stepped in the right direction, the right thing to do. It is not a disobedience to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is not a disregard to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the leader of the Biafran struggle. It doesn't matter where you belong. The leader of the Biafran struggle is Maxi Nnamdi Kanu. He is the leader. It is our responsibility now to fight for him. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu has fought for every one of us. He has sacrificed everything sacrificable, including his own family. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu have given out everything. It is our turn to sacrifice to make sure that Maxi Nnamdi comes out. Maxi Nnamdi Kanu have given it all. It is now for us to give out for him. What are you giving for Maxi Nnamdi Kanu? You that is watching me. What are you giving? The time is now. The new dimension. As it is unfolding, don't tell me you don't know whom to follow. It is now clearer than ever. If you are one of those that are sitting on the fence, still talking, you don't know whom to follow, you are part of the problem. You are part of the problem, and you are an enemy. You are part of the problem. The struggle is much more clearer than ever now. It is much more clearer than ever. So it's high time we wake up and do the needful. Sit at home on Monday and on Sunday, and any other day we had an economic sanction on the Janjaweed in the country of Nigeria. Economic sanction, a strong economic sanction upon them. It doesn't matter where they're coming from. It doesn't matter the angle they're coming from. Do not give your revenue to the local government, state government, or federal government. Don't give your revenue to them. It is time for freedom. It is you and I that will take the freedom. Nobody will give you your freedom in a platter of gold. You must have to make a sacrifice for freedom to come. You must make a sacrifice, and the time to make the sacrifice is now. Anything you can do to make sure that Maxi Nnamdi Kanu is being released, this is the time to do it. They cannot leave Maxi Nnamdi Kanu except we begin to do extraordinary things, except we begin to let them know that it's more costly to hold Maxi Nnamdi Kanu than to set him free. Until we do that, they will not let our Maxi Nnamdi Kanu go. That is why the new dimension have been activated. And if you have not invoked the spirit of autopilot on yourself, it is high time you open up your heart for the spirit of autopilot to take over you. When we are talking about autopilot, it's Chukwu Okike Abịama directing the affairs of the Biafran people. That is what it means. Allow Chukwu Okike Abịama to speak to you. Allow Chukwu Okike Abịama to be in charge. Allow Chukwu Okike Abịama to reveal to you the truth. Only then and then you'll be free. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Anybody who have shared this video, may Chukwu Okike Abịama guide and protect you. Any place you are in Biafra land, if you're watching me from Biafra land, you will see the end of this year 2022. It will not see your end. You will see Biafra and walk into Biafra. You will never die. Every Biafran all over the world, Chukwu Okike Abịama will protect you and secure you. We will all walk into Biafra alive with our food. Every Oduduwa person watching this video, you will see Oduduwa. You walk into Oduduwa and you celebrate in Oduduwa. Every Middle Belt and any indigenous person that in the country of Ghana, they're fighting for freedom, you will see your freedom. No man born of a woman can take out your freedom. You will definitely see your freedom. We shall conquer. May Chukwu Okike Abịama secure Sunday Igboho, set him free so that he can regain his freedom. May Chukwu Okike Abịama continue to strengthen, continue to protect our Surunda Maxi Nnamdi Kanu, continue to give him more wisdom, continue to give him more revelation. No weapon formed of action against Maxi Nnamdi Kanu shall prosper. Every hand that have shared this video, Every hand that has shared the video, you shall know peace. Every hand shall share this video, you will never die. No weapon formed of affection against you shall prosper. Any hand that has shared the video, you will see Biafra and you will walk into Biafra with your foot. Thank you for watching wherever you're watching from. And remember, blessed. See you again tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu Gabiam. Thank you so much and bye-bye.